A bunch of active players still hanging on to the league at this point based on vibes and just being a presence alone. Understandable, especially when there's zero pressure, coming off the bench, making the vet minimum. No better example than modern day Udonis Haslem, Garrett Temple, the Charles Barkley Trivia Hall of Famer. Some of these active players, once considered stars or marquee role guys, just out of the bench cardio merchants. These 20 guys you haven't thought of in months still in the league here in 2026. For many of them, this will certainly be their last year. Starting with Kyle Lowry of the Philadelphia 76ers. Appearing to outlast CP3 beyond wash. The Philly native already his third season on the franchise, yet he's played a combined 63 total games, 5 contests this season, a whopping 6 points in 43 total minutes. The 24 pick of the 06 draft outlasted all his draft mates by at least 3 seasons, with second place Rudy Gay playing 17. Unless Lowry wants to make it 21 seasons, he will then be the lowest drafted player to play 21 years by a wide margin, planning to sign a 10-day with the Raptors before saying adios to the hardwood. Eric Gordon back with Philly for a 1-year minimum. Talk about Daryl Morey privilege. His greatest asset all season being a mentor to promising rookie VJ Edgecombe. The two both played on the Bahamas national team, 18-year pro, averaging 5.5 points, played 6 total games. After appearing in 39 contests, 6.8 points a season ago, the now 37-year-old, he's had a pretty good career as a role player. Who and where? Mo Bamba, signed by the Raptors. What, how, why, and when? The 27-year-old draft bust, much needed in the absence of Jakob, who's nursing a back injury. Bamba signed 3 days before the new year after giving way too many chances to prove himself. The former Orlando Magic center, already playing for 6 different teams, just 4 contests with New Orleans last season. While on a 10-day, Bamba signed with Utah during training camp but waived right before the season. One of those guys being the perfect on-call backup, ready to sign anytime a center goes down. The 6th pick of the 2018 draft, at least he's not the worst top 10 pick in his class. That title belongs to Kevin Knox. Bamba, called up from the G League, one of those guys with zero dog in him, lacks motor, has the size, a bit of athleticism that he doesn't use, and can shoot the 3 but gets pushed around easily and doesn't put in any effort. That's been his biggest problem. One of those players who's 2 years away from being 2 years away to never happening. Zach Collins, now with the Bulls, traded in the Zach LaVine 3-team package last February. The former lottery pick from the 2017 draft has had way too many injuries early on, played 39 combined games from 2020 to 22, a name that doesn't cross people's mind in probably a year, has some nice flashes pre-injury, sticks up for himself, never afraid to get scrappy, used to be more mobile. San Antonio don't miss him a lick since they got an upgrade at the backup center position in Luke Cornett. Collins' defense last season virtually non-existent, a free agent, getting 18 mil the final year of his contract. The Nevada native will have 3 months to prove he's worthy of a mid-level exception. Might have to have the game of his life come play in time to get another decent contract. Larry Nance Jr. been a non-factor for the struggling Cavs, a team supposed to have finals aspirations. The 11-year vet just turned 33 years old, averaging under 4 and 3, always been a reverse role player, just playing for the vibes, no longer impactful, appeared to have played his best stretch of hoops last season, going 34 of 76 from 3, a whopping 45%. Aside from 3 seasons with the Lakers, the 6'6" undersized power forward / center has been playing for small markets ever since. Speaking of small markets, Amir Coffey doesn't drink enough of the coffee. The former Clipper has been an absolute travesty with the no-impact Bucks, playing like it's decaf season, no energy, no impact. Where the heck is Coffey at? If he was still on the Clippers, almost guaranteed Coffey would average at least 7 points a game. Brings in zero athleticism, no versatility, a career 38% outside shooter. Doc Rivers might just not know how to use him. Perhaps the cold weather in Milwaukee that's making him brick jumpers. Joe Ingles, 9 total games played, just 27 minutes, 2 shot attempts, 0 points, channeling his inner Ryan Arcidiacono New York Knicks impression. Now 38 years old, from Australia, from coming to the league as a 27-year-old rookie. Aside from balling 8 seasons in Utah, many already forgotten the 2 other teams he's played for. The answers: Milwaukee and Orlando. A good cheerleader and appears to be a solid teammate. His only real highlight all season: called to inbound the ball before getting snubbed out. Easy work. That's how you get the job done as a 15-man on your roster. Matisse Thybulle. Who and where will Rip City? His career realistically after Philadelphia has been ripped for RIP. Now 28 years old, supposed to be one of the best defenders for this era. Of course, the 20th pick from the 2019 class opted in for the final year of his player option. The best decision he'll ever make. Super injury prone. 15 games played a season ago, only 4 this season. 19 of a possible 117 during his stint with Portland. Had to undergo thumb surgery after suiting up 4 of the first 5 games, re-evaluated and no update, slowly being forgotten. His unavailability, similar to Andre Robertson, an absolute waste of a roster spot. Had a bad ankle last season. What the hell's going on with Portland's medical staff? I bet many of you haven't even thought about Scoot Henderson, still out after a hamstring tear. Speaking of Scoot, he's injury prone. Being this young and never available, even Anthony Davis has played more games than the former number 2 pick since he joined the league. You can't be playing less games than someone nicknamed Mr. Street Clothes, an absolute disaster class for the Blazers organization. Seth Curry, if it wasn't for older brother Steph, we all know Seth would be out the league by now. Was signed October, then waived only to be signed again December, played 2 games, now out with lower back and pelvis injuries. Already played 13 seasons in the league. A career 43% outside shooter, 35-year-old role player. This should be his last one in the association. Doug McDermott should be on his last legs in the NBA, whether he decides to retire after this season or go overseas. Made it to a dozen years. The journeyman has played with mediocre teams throughout his career, 7 total. Only got out the first round once with the 2024 Pacers. Very deep on the bench with Sacramento. Career 41% outside shooter. The type of guy to play much better with Domantas Sabonis giving him assists in the half-court offense instead of the run and gun fast-paced style game. Now being 34 years old and slow-footed. The lack of athleticism and speed always been his biggest issues. McDermott will really have to step up, score a couple double-figure games to get another shot of a contract. Dario Saric, the former rookie runner-up, lasted longer than Malcolm Brogdon. Now extremely washed, couldn't do much being Jokic's backup last season with Denver. Now he's riding deep on the bench next to Dougie McBuckets. Still 31 years old, never recovered from that 2021 Finals ACL tear, has no mobility to play the 4, never strong enough, can't rebound to play the 5. If Saric wants to play meaningful pro ball minutes, moving back to Europe the way to go. Pat Connaughton made it to season 11, his second one with Charlotte. Buried deep on the bench, soon to be 33 years old, made his money on the final year of his contract, forever known as the 6th man on the championship 2021 Bucks. Many players have said anytime they're at the latter part of their career and ends up getting traded to Charlotte, it's an absolute career death sentence. Same can be said for the 6'5 Notre Dame standout. Connaughton and Isaac, a name many haven't heard of in years. Is he still in Orlando? You bet he is. Why is that? Take a look at his contract. Now simply out the rotation. 28 years old, defensive specialist, lost many years of development due to knee injuries. By the time he's returned, the franchise already built around Paolo and Franz, playing similar positions. Having Isaac out there too redundant, especially that he's a non-shooter. By adding some weight last season to help his defense in the post, it robbed him of lateral movement. Isaac still thinks too much when somebody passes him the ball, always hesitant to shoot. At this point, is he even better than Jared Vanderbilt? The answer's for you to decide. Anthony Gill, 33 years old, the same age he appeared to be while at Virginia. Off the bench for the Wizards, the only franchise he's played for, a career 63 and 180 record. He's most likely not reaching 100 career wins. On the bright side, after his contract's up this season, Gill will have made over $10 million in career NBA earnings, still very solid, when most players who finally make it to the league at 28 years old won't last more than 40 games. Hasn't offered much on the court, but likely a decent locker room guy if he continues getting signed year after year. Speaking of year after year, more like decade after decade, Dwight Powell of the Dallas Mavericks. Across 3 generations of all-time Mavs white franchise stars, one of the least talented players to ever play ball at 34 years old in the NBA. 13 seasons in the association, signed a 3-year, $12 million deal summer of 2023. Even years ago, many Mavs fans wanted him gone, likely to retire at the conclusion of this season. Like finally, being Mark Cuban's favorite, once Dwight Powell's getting minutes in 2026, you know the Mavs hit rock bottom. The closest thing to OKC's Nick Collison, too bad he started his career playing 5 games with the Celtics. The forgotten man in the Rondo trade. There's a high chance he gets involved with the franchise, whether it's in the front office or coaching, being extremely connected. Powell already top 5 in franchise games played, only behind the great Dirk Nowitzki, Brad Davis, Derek Harper, and Rolando Blackman. Caleb Martin, an absolute travesty of a fall-off. After nearly winning Eastern Conference Finals MVP 2.5 years ago, now 30 years old, unplayable, getting 10 minutes a game, averaging nearly the same amount of fouls as points. Nico Harrison, such a disgrace, even if he didn't trade Luka at all. Trading away Quentin Grimes for Martin itself would have been a legitimate, fireable offense. Not even good enough to be a trade asset, doesn't become a free agent till 2028, a player option after next season, a tough one to swallow. Martin was also horrible with Philly, has done absolutely nothing since Game 7 2023 Conference Finals, just gross numbers all around. The Mavs might as well just cut him before his deal expires so fans won't have to think about his presence bringing nothing to the team. Jeff Green, teammates with KD for a 3rd time, the 2023 NBA champ, just chilling for the vibes. Year 19, a beloved teammate, ultimate journeyman, played for 11 franchises, one of the most well-traveled athletes. He's been called Uncle Jeff at least for the last 8 years and counting. For somebody who had life-saving open heart surgery back in 2012 to playing over 1,200 career NBA games, the 6'8" forward himself, a true inspiration for all. Kevon Looney, New Orleans. What? Why? How? Because Steve Kerr. One of many examples why the latter years of Steph Curry's time with the Warriors a disaster. Not only was guys like Klay Thompson and Looney supposed to be lifelong Warriors, but after the Draymond punch, nothing went right for the franchise. At least Looney now reunited with Jordan Poole, the oldest looking 29-year-old in the league, will have a team option for 2027, $8 million, likely decline. He can choose to sign back with Golden State next season if he wishes. Bismack Biyombo, chilling on the bench, 33 years old, averaging under a point, sounds about right. Been washed since getting that fat payday from Orlando summer 2016. Being a third string center under Luke Cornett, just extra insurance if the backup center goes down. A good filler for the spot. Being a good teammate, much more safe of a signing than some arrogant young player trying to prove himself when he ain't better than San Antonio's top 8 guys. The Spurs having a mixture of youth with vets, displaying the personalities Popovich always wanted to bring to the franchise, setting the culture. Don't be shocked to see Biyombo stick around for another year or even 2 after 2026. Jordan McLaughlin, the 5'11" point guard, chilling next to Bismack, deep on the bench, getting the best view of the Wembanyama experience. Played 5 seasons with Minnesota, last year with Sacramento, now in San Antonio. Talk about the biggest upgrade any role player can feel. McLaughlin's tied with Ryan Nembhard, listed as the shortest player in the NBA at 5'11". There's absolutely a 99% chance he ain't 5'11" barefoot. Honorable mentions, Kyle Anderson of the Utah Jazz. We know Kevin Love's in Utah. He'll hit some shots here and there. Josh Green, Marvin Bagley III, DeAndre Jordan, and Kelly Olynyk.